Bill Davis came from humble beginnings growing up in Arkansas. Friends and family ignited Bill's passion for motorsports, but no one knew just how high those flames would rise.
Bill and I, our ties go back before racing, when Bill decided that he wanted to learn the trucking business so that he could go into the trucking business. He came to work for my dad, and so that's really how we got to know him. But once I started racing, Bill, because he was a big boy, he got tapped as the gas man. He was the best gas man I had. In 1987, I took a Busch Grand National ride, and so I didn't have an ASA car to do select ASA events. And Bill saw all the pieces of the puzzle and said, here's a chance I can do a car and Mark drive it. So he asked me if I would do it, and I was like, yeah. We hit the big late model events. Then in '88, I got the Jack Roush ride for the Cup Series. Bill was really focused in on racing at that point. He immediately moved right into the Busch Series and picked up those, races for me. Once he got into the Busch Series, he made the commitment and made the move to North Carolina, and that's the way Bill Davis is. What he does all the way, and he had his eyes set on going all the way. So in came Jeff Gordon.
I had the great fortune of getting that call from Ford, from Bill. Certainly that's what changed my life and NASCAR career forever. I loved his attitude and way about racing. He was passionate about it. He took what helped him have a successful business and applied it to racing, and he realized that early on, hey, we're going to have to do this on a limited time, limited budget, and grow from there. Hands-on car owners, nobody's more hands-on than Bill. When I was working for Bill, he had a bus that he lived in out in the back of the shop. So nobody was at work any earlier than Bill, nobody was there any later than Bill. And anything that they did, he wanted to do. It wasn't just about business. It was about being a part of racing and building the car.
Well, Bill Davis, he knows how to work on race cars. He worked on race cars. He's been in them, out them. Knows about engines. He knows about gears. He knows about shocks and springs. He's no fool when it comes to a race car.
It was pretty evident early on he wanted to go to the Cup Series. He wanted to be a successful car owner and compete at the highest level.
Ward Burton in front in turn 3. This is for all the marbles in the Great American Race. It's been since 1977 when a Dodge won at Daytona in a Winston Cup event. Today it happens again. Ward Burton is going to win the 44th Daytona 500.
Burton wins the most prestigious race of his career as he gets the Daytona 500 here this afternoon.
There's no greater accomplishment than to have that dream and win the Daytona 500.
Winning the Daytona 500 is so hard to do. Restrictor plate racing is backwards and opposite from everything else you know. For him to be able to pull off a Daytona 500 was major. Today he has a Daytona 500 trophy. Not many people have those.
Often deemed the little engine that could, Bill Davis Racing steamed past the competition once again.
BD was building trucks for Toyota. Well, we were friends with Bill and Gail, and we went up to their place for dinner, and I'm like, man, we want to drive for you.
I ain't have no truck team. I don't want no damn truck team.
Like, come on, man, do a truck team, man. She's like, Bill, do a truck team.
I ain't nope, ain't doing no truck team.
Somehow or the other, between all of us, we conned Bill into starting a truck team. Wasn't good enough for him. He had just 3 truck teams, but at least we got him going.
And Johnny Benson will win the championship.
This is what it's all about. This is why you keep coming to these things for 20-something years and working hard, and this is what it's all about.
We're glad you got it, and please pass along our congratulations to Gail also.
Every man's greatness is backed by a woman whose love and support drives his determination.
And she would drive back and forth from Arkansas to High Point, North Carolina, and then go to the racetrack and help run that race team.
Gail and Bill's extraordinary efforts materialized into rewarding accomplishments across the top 3 series of NASCAR.
For nearly 20 years, Bill and Gail Davis and Bill Davis Racing was an instrumental part of the growth of our series.
All the years that he was involved in NASCAR, nobody did it better or was more passionate about it than Bill and put their heart and soul into it.
His involvement, his support, his His ability to do it at the level of success that he had with the economics he had to work with was an inspiration for others. NASCAR was a benefactor of that, and plus they were just fun to have around.
I'm Mark Martin, and I'd like to welcome Bill Davis into the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame.